Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing really well. I am back here today to again discuss Gareth Southgate in England, but this time I'm going to be looking more broadly and talking about what would be defined as success for England during this World Cup and what Gareth Southgate needs to achieve in order for him to continue on as England manager. So if you enjoy this video, please like and subscribe and let me know your thoughts about England and Gareth Southgate in the comments below. So England's preparations haven't exactly been ideal for the World Cup, and it's even crazy to even imagine the fact that the World Cup is happening in November. I'm still kind of getting my head around to it, but when it does arrive, I'm sure we'll all be excited. You know, during the cold months of November and December, we'll have 4 games, a day during the first few weeks of the World Cup. I mean, that's going to be really, really exciting. But from England's point of view, it's not been ideal preparation. Now, if you look back at all of England's previous campaigns in their major tournaments, they've always breezed through qualifying. They've always won all their games, they've looked amazing, and then get to the tournament, they've collapsed. But this time around, it's switched, where during England's recent UEFA Nations League campaign, they've actually been relegated from their group and have only scored 4 goals, which is actually really, really bad. I think 2 of them are from open play. Really, really bad from England's point of view, especially going forward. They just haven't looked like creating any sort of chances, and their midfield has looked really unbalanced. So the fact that England now have no more matches to prepare for the World Cup is not good. Now, for Gareth Southgate, I do admire him in some ways because he is fiercely loyal to players like Pickford, Eric Dyer, Raheem Sterling when he wasn't in form for England, but then most of all Harry Maguire. And I can understand his thinking behind keeping to play those players, especially the likes of Harry Maguire, because he hasn't got time to change his style of football or change the personnel. I mean, for example, I do feel sorry for Ivan Toney. It is unfortunate timing that he suddenly hit form as these internationals have come, because England have only had 2 more games to the World Cup, so Gareth Southgate couldn't really experiment with different players. So I can understand why he's still playing Harry Maguire. But having said that, Maguire is in horrific form and it's not improved. So it's not ideal. Like, I could understand both camps for dropping Maguire because he's so out of form, but also still playing Maguire because at times Maguire has looked good for England in the past. And Gareth Southgate, like I said, is fiercely loyal. So he's going to play the players that he likes. Because Gareth Southgate is so loyal, we probably know that Gareth Southgate is going to play Harry Maguire, play Jordan Pickford and Eric Dyer and Sterling, and play with 3 centre-backs. It's just a case of whether it will work at the World Cup. Now, I think it's a saving grace that England play Iran in their first game, because if they played the USA, there's always that edge because of England and USA and the relationship the 2 countries have. And if it was England-Wales the first game, I mean, that would not be ideal because Wales would be well up for that, and given it's kind of a derby, I would be worried from an England fan's point of view. So the fact it's Iran, the easiest team, they're not particularly good, I think is reassuring from England's point of view. That's good. That's a good case scenario. However, having said that, you can imagine a scenario where it's half-time at 0-0, 60-minute 0-0, and England's kind of start to panic. But as we saw in the Germany game, one of the small promising signs going forward was Gareth Southgate's substitutions actually worked. When Saka and Mount came on, they both looked really lively, running in behind, making runs off the defenders, without the ball. They looked really lively and they definitely injected some enthusiasm for England. And that's the thing about this England team. They've got such a great squad. There's so much talent in there that they've got so many options on the bench. So England, despite their bad form, they should be winning the group. And that's what I'm going into the World Cup. Say minimum win the group. If you win the group, let's see what happens from there. Now, for my personal expectations, I think minimum quarterfinals. Because yes, England are in bad form, but like I said, they should win the group. They've got enough talent there, and it could be a scenario where maybe they play a big nation in the last 16 or the quarterfinals, and then if they play well and unluckily get knocked out, I can kind of take that in a way. But I think for Gareth Southgate to continue to be England manager, he'll have to do more. And here's why Gareth Southgate will have to do more, because he has been England manager for over 70 different matches. That's a long time as England manager. It's a long cycle, and his contract conveniently runs out at the end of this tournament. Now, there was talk of him getting a new contract after the Euros and him doing so well, but The world of football, fans are fickle. It's a kind of a short-term game. Managers don't normally last a long time, and England have not been in good form. So there's kind of a lot of uncertainty going into the World Cup. It's a case of whether Gareth's heart is still in it to be England manager and how well he does. For me personally, my prediction is that I think no matter what the result, Gareth Southgate will resign. I can just see a scenario where Gareth will reflect on his time as England manager and feel as though it's the right time to move on. I can see the FA maybe moving on from him, given that England's form has been so bad recently. And I can just imagine that scenario. And I think Gareth Southgate is going to have to do a lot to win the fans back over. Like I said, maybe reach a semi-final or even a final and play really, really well in the final. But then you look at the Italy game, it was just a case of so close yet so far. Is that the closest England are going to get to a major tournament, major trophy under Gareth Southgate? I think that will be the case, because it's not going to be easy for England. And, there's some really top nations out there that England are going to have to eventually face and come up against in the World Cup. I'll talk about starting 11s, my pick, and close to the time and all that stuff. But in terms of my expectation as an England fan, I think minimum quarterfinals. I'd like to see they reach the quarterfinals. The actual expectation is, I'm worried about all three games. I'm worried that England are going to be 0-0 in the 60th minute against Iran. I'm worried about the Wales game. I mean, by then it might be a dead rubber, which is kind of good in a way. Give England players a chance, or different England players to play, chance for players to rest. But I am worried about this tournament going forward, and I do think it'll be Gareth Southgate's last tournament. But more importantly, let me know your expectations for the World Cup in the comments below, and let me know your thoughts about Gareth Southgate as manager. Because yes, there's a lot of pessimism going into this tournament, and he hasn't done particularly well recently. But I do think overall he's been a success, given that semi-final of a World Cup when England fans expected nothing, and a final against Italy in the Euros was very, very good. Having said that, though, there's a lot of doubt going into this World Cup. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and please like and subscribe. I would really, really appreciate that. And I'll hopefully see you all in the next video. Thank you very much.